This week on No Sugar Added, we get pumped up.
I love working out.
Clearly. So we're about a month into our program here, and some of our results are starting to stagnate a little bit. We're starting to get a little worried about it, but then we kind of realized a lot of how we're gauging this is having to do with weight, and that got us thinking that we might want to talk about that a little bit.
The reason behind doing this wasn't for weight loss. We actually wanted to kind of try this out to see what the impact would be on our body overall, how it would impact our entire health.
At the beginning of every show, we do show our weight as it's tracked along how long we've been doing this, but that's really just the only way we could think to gauge our progress. Weight isn't the point of this. It's overall health that we're concerned with.
Yeah. I think the reason we started with the weight is because the link with sugar is with obesity. So we're thinking, hey, if it has an impact on us, what is the impact on other people, such as children? But to be honest, it's more about the overall impact on ourselves, not just weight, but, how we feel, our energy level.
To be perfectly honest, in a lot of areas, we have seen a lot of improvements in terms of our overall quality of life. I don't think I could see myself stopping, at least not entirely, when we finish doing this show.
We're going to have the food items, we're going to have the habits in place. I don't see us actually binging on anything that's bad. Okay, fine, pizza. Fine, ice cream. Fine, more pizza. But other than that, I think we'll stick with it. It'll be good.
Now, that being said, there is a crucial part of the equation that we kind of have left out of it. You see, Dawn and I both...
Oh, sorry, you're talking.
Dawn and I both do work that is kind of sedentary.
I sit in front of a computer. It's good times.
Dawn does graphic design. I do a lot of video work that involves sitting in front of a computer screen all day, so we don't get a whole lot of physical activity in. When we originally conceived this show, we wanted it to be two-tiered. I mean, it wasn't going to be an essential part of the presentation, but we wanted to simulate kind of the average person's experience, and we recognize that we don't have the average person's level of activity. So we wanted to balance out with that by doing some exercises, moderate exercises about 3 times a week. Not too much, not a crazy fitness program, but more than we would be doing ourselves otherwise.
Yes.
And we haven't really been good about doing that.
Nope, not one bit. So we've actually been trying to step it up a notch. And I mean, we're not, as I said, we're not going crazy. We're not like boot camping it and, trying to pump up or nothing. But we are trying to still stay active, because even though it's not essential for weight loss, exercise is good for an overall health. We're not told that exercise is healthy for us. We're told it's what's going to help us lose weight.
Marketing for most exercise programs and gyms and the like all seem to be geared towards weight loss. And there are benefits to working out, but weight loss isn't really one of them. And we're not doing a big program. We're just trying to get our physical activity up to the level of somebody who isn't just completely sedentary sitting at their desk all day.
Like me. And him.
And me. So the standard most people usually go with, doctors and governmentally, is called the body mass index. The body mass index is something that was developed a long time ago, and it wasn't really meant ever to be used to evaluate somebody's individual health. For some reason, at some point, somebody just decided that we should be using this system to evaluate individuals. It's kind of throwing in a if-then, or not an if-then, a cause and effect relationship between health and weight that isn't really there. There are a number of people and there are a number of articles written about basically just questioning the use of the body mass index as an accurate marker for whether or not someone's overweight or obese. And there have actually been suggestions about more accurate ways to do that, and we're going to get into that a little bit. I've been looking at some articles that I've been thinking about sharing with you guys. And actually, I think we can go look at those now, huh? Hey everybody, me at the desk here with some additional notes. Alright, first of all, I want to point out an article in the New York Times about some of the shortcomings of the body mass index. Of particular note is that the system was originally conceived in the 19th century, and it was a statistical framework, meaning that it was meant to evaluate groups of people, not individuals. The article, along with some others here, point to alternative methods for evaluating weight. Some of the more simple methods involve taking waist measurements. This leads me to another article, this one by the Telegraph in the UK. It highlights a survey that found that men had a tendency to underestimate their waist size by about 2 inches. This probably has something to do with the fact that men's pant sizes are measured in inches around the belt line, which is not the proper way to take a waist measurement. That is done above the hip bones and just below the rib cage, right around the belly button area. Thirdly, while I was raiding the New Yorker archives, while they're temporarily free, I found an article on the Paleolithic diet. It doesn't have anything to do with the body mass index, but it does share a striking resemblance to what we've been doing here on No Sugar Added. Go check that out before they start making you pay for it. Finally, Jack Peretti of the BBC has done some great investigative reporting on the food industry in his series The Men Who Made Us Fat, and of the weight loss industry in The Men Who Made Us Thin. One thing I found particularly fascinating was a 1944 study that showed that people who cut calories and lost weight put their bodies into starvation mode, rapidly putting the weight back on and then some. It found that overweight people who dieted until they were classified as normal also went into starvation mode until they put on the weight that they once had. Links to everything I've mentioned here will be in the description, as well as a calculator that will let you find your current and healthy weight by a number of different metrics. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let us know in the comments what you'd like us to talk about in future episodes.